Thank you. All right, let's start the meeting. It's 7:09. Running a little late. That's okay. Roll call. Lisa. Here. Shannon, are you on the phone? No, not yet.
Here.
Yeah, just
Here.
on the phone.
Yep, I'm here.
Here.
No administration. Annalisa Fuentes.
Here.
Then I've got Joe Colada.
Here.
Let me see if Matt's coming.
Tom Demaro.
Here.
Oh, that's right.
And then for boards, I've got Alan Schuman and Paula Luna. That's it.
Awesome. All right, agenda. Any changes to the agenda? Tom, you had some things you want to present. I think were those things that we need to vote on?
Yes.
Okay, we need to make. Can we make an amendment for items that we need to vote on? So we can't. Can we vote on them on Tuesday? At our next meeting?
Yeah, you got.
That's also a special meeting.
Can we amend the posting?
What I have to do is cancel that and then redo it.
Okay. So we won't be able to vote on it tonight 'cause it's a special meeting tonight, so we had to move it, but we'll put it on the agenda for Tuesday.
Okay.
And then we have to meet Tuesday anyway, so we'll just vote on it then.
Okay.
Is that going to be a huge delay on things?
No, that's fine.
We can talk about it tonight, though, and just so that we know going in what
Okay,
we
sure.
need to do. I know that Jack already approved it, so. Okay. Any other changes to? And that's different than the early procurement package, is it right? Or is that part of that?
It's part of it.
So maybe it falls under that?
No, it's
something
not
different?
part of what's going out to bid. It's an added service.
But
So it's not part of the early procurement?
But with regards to the early procurement package,
Not really. It's really, well, yeah, I guess it could be, yeah.
because it says phase 1 early procurement package down here.
Oh, I'm
At
talking
least-
about the detailers, yeah.
But
yeah.
you need that as part of the package, kind of, right?
Yeah, I think it would fall under the phase 1 because it all involves phase 1 early procurement package.
Right, like you couldn't do one without the other.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it would fall. We'll just talk about it under that, under the design architect section.
Okay.
All right. Any other changes to the agenda? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Thank you, John. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Heather, you're our alternate.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. No one's abstaining. Motion passes. All right. Approval of minutes from June 7th. There was one change that Matt Blanchett brought to my attention. On page 2, where we talk about all of the value management options that have been rejected, one that we need to add to that list is the stone dust to asphalt option that was presented. We had rejected that to keep the stone dust. Right? I think so, yeah.
Yeah, around
Around the rain garden.
the, right.
So I just want to clarify that that was not accepted. Any other changes? Any discussion on the minutes? If not, take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay. All right. I have no comments, really. We had town council meeting last week. I presented updates. We have been scrambling to get signage up for the public hearing for planning and zoning, which is July 6th. 6th? I think so. Little disappointed that we didn't have more clear direction from the town. I was kind of hoping that they would have provided some guidance initially, maybe like last week, since we're all kind of new to this, but that's okay. We are an amazing team, and we'll figure it out like we always do and get this thing posted in time. That's all I had. I had no other comments, so we can move right along to communications. Do you want to report for communications, or Jessica?
I don't have anything formal. We're just continuing our social media campaign.
Yeah, I don't have anything formal either. We're just continuing our normal process, getting information out to everybody through Facebook and our regular newsletters. So nothing new.
Okay. Okay. And thank you for scrambling to move the meeting notice. Nothing like last minute changes. Sorry about that. Design subcommittee.
So there were a couple of us on a call with Perkins Eastman and D'Agostino and Associates, police chief and the police captain to go through, and school officials to go through security plan and kind of give that one more over and make sure everything was there. And I think everyone is satisfied with the plans and placements and technology and all that. So that book has kind of been closed unless something comes up for some reason. So we wrap that up, and then design subcommittee will be participating on next Thursday with a presentation from Perkins Eastman with design finishes. So some interior and exterior design finishes. So that's our next big step.
Okay, and we have that meeting next Thursday at 7 p.m. Is it on
It's
Zoom or?
Here, it's
here?
in person.
Okay, in person. Building committee is invited to attend as observers, but we are going to leave it to the subcommittee to have the discussions just for efficiency.
Correct.
Okay. And then any recommendations that your subcommittee comes up with, bring it back to the building committee and we'll
Yes.
approve it formally.
Yep.
Okay. And then Tuesday we have the meeting. Now, what exactly are we approving on Tuesday?
You're approving the early procurement package, we're calling it Phase 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the purchase of electrical equipment, temporary service, and a pad for the trailer, and the steel and rebar detailing.
Okay. And why do we have the Board of Ed approving it as well? Is that going to be throughout the
That's-
process? They approve everything, or just this early
To-
package?
At the PCR, or to go to the PCR, the Board of Ed and the building committee have to sign off. So that's going to be one more time when we go, Phase 2, and then the FF&E package will be Phase 3. That'll have to all go through the
And
Board
can-
of Ed and the building committee.
And can you remember what PCR stands for again?
Plan completion review? Or,
It depends on what day of the week you want to call that.
right, yeah.
But yeah, it's,
Project completion review, plan
Yeah.
completion review?
but you have to understand that the district it has to vote on these things because the district is the applicant in the
Okay.
eyes of the state. So any decisions, any approvals for Phase 1, Phase 2, for Phase 3, the superintendent has to sign off along with you as the chairman. So Tom will prepare the form. It'll be the 42
No,
form.
you guys do the 42.
The 42 form, once you meet and everything is approved as presented, Rosanna, you're going to be asked to sign, and so Perkins will sign, and the superintendent, and the chairman of the Board of Education will sign.
Okay, chairman signs.
Yeah, the
So
chairman
the
of the board.
superintendent doesn't sign off on anything?
She does as
Yes.
well. Yes,
Yes.
she
She does as well, okay.
Yes.
So
But you guys have to meet first before signing off on
Okay.
that form.
So Tuesday, the expectation is that myself, Selena, and Dr. Macri will sign this form.
It has to, yes.
Yeah. Emily, is this the one that the 504 official has to sign as well?
Is there if there is a 50, yeah, 50.
There
And
is
the
a
health.
504.
Yeah.
What's
And
a
the health
504
department.
official?
The accessibility.
It's the
official.
accessibility official. Someone in the town should
So
be
I-
appointed that task.
There is somebody, yeah. I
And
don't
they have to
remember
come
the
to this
name.
meeting Tuesday?
No,
Okay.
No, the most important people are the ones that I just named.
Okay.
Just
But
very few.
this 504 official also has to sign the form?
Yeah.
but
So we need
should,
to find out who it is?
Yeah, we should give a heads up to that person and
Do they have to
whoever's
sign
the
for
health
this?
For the-
department.
What packages
That's
you
for
guys going?
code review. don't
Would it be
think-
the, like, the
I think
health
because
person?
because of the,
The
fa-
health
of the
inspector-
packages that are going out, they probably, the second page doesn't have to get filled out. Because the second page is of signatures, is the 504.
It's
the
the building inspector,
fire
fire
The building
marshal,
official and the fire marshal, yeah.
health inspector, and the
Oh, yeah.
504 officer.
So all those people need
Wow.
to sign off on it as well?
But I'm not sure if they need to sign off on a
Because of the
equipment
packages that are being,
package.
yeah. I
There's
think we're
no
gonna have
code review
to
for it.
confirm with Barbara
could-
to see if she expects a signature from those. Because of the packages, like you just mentioned, it might not be needed.
All right, well, it's actually Andrea, but I can call her
Or
tomorrow.
Andrea, yes.
Alright, I'm gonna find out who
and
that
then we have to
person is.
fill out the checklist, and most of it'll be to be submitted at phase 2 PCR, but there will be some documents that go at this point.
Okay, so can you remind me again what the different phases are? Phase 1 is,
The early procurement package,
okay, hold on. Phase 1.
What are we calling phase 2?
construction,
Construction? Sure.
yeah. Phase 2 would be construction.
So you need to go through this before each phase.
Yes.
Is construction,
And then phase 3 would be FF&E and technology. Is there a
that's after the
program phase?
building's built?
Great.
That's after the building's built? Or somewhere?
No,
Well,
during-
somewhere in between, as they're doing the
During, yeah.
construction,
Yeah.
then the architects and us will get together to see
Figure
the
out what's-
FF&E. But we
what's-
have to come back again to you guys and say, here's
Yep.
the estimate, here's how it compares to your budget. Perkins will put together that whole list and
Is any of that stuff worth doing early procurement as well? Because, I don't know, commodity increases, price increases and things like that?
I could check that. I haven't heard of any issues.
Okay,
We've actually done a number of furniture packages this year and haven't had any issues.
okay. It is stable? Okay.
yeah.
I just
that-
asked.
It's
Just-
not like during COVID with outdoor furniture was impossible to get.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And most of it will probably be purchased off state contract, right?
Depends on what we want to do and
Yeah.
what we're going to select. So we could go either bid or off a state contract.
Okay. And then, is there a phase 4?
No, they've informed me that
So
there's
three
no phase.
phases.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go through this PCR process and before each one.
Phase 4 is not demo in sight.
Oh, demoing the original
It's
site?
No, that
part-
happens at the end.
It's part of phase 2.
It'll be part of
It's
phase
just
2.
a phase of
It'll be
phase
bid
2.
with phase 2.
Oh, so construction is construction and demolition.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
It's all for the state. They look at that as one phase, but
Yeah.
it's phased construction for Newfield.
And and phase 2 also covers all the site work?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, I like completely diverted. Anything else, Heather?
The only thing of note while I was sitting here talking is that we have planning and zoning July 6th. And I believe they're going to be looking for exterior finish information. So when we have our meeting next Thursday, I think the design subcommittee is going to need to make their recommendations so that on July 5th, when we meet as a full committee, those can be voted on and finalized. So when we go to planning and zoning, we can say, yep, it's been discussed, we're doing
It doesn't need to be part of the package?
it. I don't think it needed to be part of the package for the site work.
Right. We issued elevations, building elevations, so they know the heights, they know the materials, but there's no architectural review board here, so I'm not sure if they kind of cover that too.
So they're just
But I-
anticipating people are gonna ask, like, am I gonna be staring at, like, mirrors, or if I'm gonna be staring at brick?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Orange bricks, green bricks, pink bricks. I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know what.
They don't
level
want
of-
an eyesore.
No one does.
So does that include the roof screens on the RTUs too then? as
That's
part of
in the
that?
package, yes.
Okay.
So I think we just need to make sure that for the next meeting, it's on the agenda that we have a line
Okay.
to discuss at least the
Can
outside.
you track that? Because I'll forget.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can't keep
I just
everything.
want to make sure if the question is asked that
Yes,
we
we'll
as
have
a
the
committee have
answer.
had a dialogue
Yeah,
and can
naturally.
answer,
Yeah,
so we don't delay anything further.
yeah. Did planning and zoning give you any feedback on the screens?
No comments on the screens yet. So we've received a number of comments.
That's good. That means they read it.
Right. So not sure if we're going to get more. We're anticipating a few more coming in, but they've been coming in 1 or 2 per reviewer, per staff reviewer. So
Okay.
we've been distributing them to the consultants and had a meeting today to discuss it and looking to provide responses back by next Thursday.
Did they have any comment on EV stations or no?
No. No.
Okay. All right.
There was a comment that our landscape architect was reading through the minutes, and she brought it up to me if that was going to be a requirement, and I said not at this time.
Did we
So-
decide that we're not going to do EV? I know we talked
We-
about it, but I don't
I
think we
discussed.
decided.
I thought we agreed we were gonna put in a conduit only.
Oh, conduit only for
Conduit
future.
only,
Yeah,
okay.
it's for
Yeah,
future
you're right.
accessibility. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
don't have to like
So you
dig
We'll
up
have it
Yeah.
ready so we don't have to dig up everything to
put
make
'em
a
in.
connection. But
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. That should be easy.
Yeah, one thing to note is if you do put EV stations for the accessible EV station, it has larger requirements than a standard accessible parking space. So it could affect the parking in the future.
Thoughts, Ken?
I didn't do that, the one I just did.
Do you have to? I mean, this is gonna sound horrible. I shouldn't even say it, but is that like a standard to do EV for accessible?
I believe you would have to, if you're
Have it-
providing
So
2, you would have to have one to be
Why does it
accessible. I
have
haven't
to
looked
be
into the
larger?
regulations on that.
yeah, why does it have to be larger? Because of the way they're currently.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into
Maybe
it.
it's accessibility to wherever the port is. They need a wheelchair to go around or something. Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's what Richter and Segan reported to me today when we discussed it, that it would
Like-
be a larger space for accessible.
Like larger, like double, or just like 2 extra feet wider. Like what are we talking for larger?
They didn't say.
Okay.
I could get that information for you.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, if we had a corner spot and you just had to, like, widen that parking area, maybe it's not as big of a deal as, like, removing a whole other parking spot. You know what I mean?
Right. It would probably could reduce one parking space even if it's a foot wider. So.
Well,
un-
we can
unless
turn
you
that
built in
other
some
we
fluff.
can turn that other parking space to a bicycle space,
Right.
motorbike,
Compact space.
compact motorbike parking.
Scooters.
Yeah, there you
Let's
go.
not let that drive the bus.
Hmm?
Let's not let the electrical space drive the bus.
No, no,
yeah, no.
Okay.
Rosanna, we just looked it up. Pre-bid conformance review is PCR.
Pre-bid conformance review. Thank you.
Completion test is the old one.
PCT.
PCT, yeah, right.
Pre-bid conformance
Review.
review.
That's when they were OSF.
Well, now they're OGA.
So,
Oh,
so
they
it's
are?
not a PCR at phase 2 and 3 because it's post-bid at that point.
Well, no, every time before to each phase.
Yeah.
For phase 2, you're gonna bid also. So you're gonna you have to go to
Oh, gotcha,
pre-bid.
gotcha,
And for
gotcha.
phase 3, you also have
I
to
see.
bid. So,
So we're just bidding now for the advanced stuff.
for
Right.
the early
yes.
procurement.
And even if the
Gotcha.
furniture's all off state contract, you still have to go to the PCR.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Long hours.
All right. Joe, you're up.
Agenda's kind of short tonight, so design update. We do have one design item that we want to look at and one item to point out that came out of the security meeting. Schedule update and then meetings and data gathering and next steps. So as we just said, we just receiving and addressing initial staff planning and zoning comments. We're continuing architecture coordination and consultant coordination, and then we've been working on the last 2 weeks the early procurement package, which is the electrical switchgear and generator and the other items that Tom indicated. Site plan, I just wanted a quick recap on what's the site plan fencing. So per the last meeting, this fence here is now a 6-foot chain link fence with privacy slats. This fence here is a 4-foot chain link fence. We have the perimeter chain link fence. Well, it starts here. This one is existing. And then the 6-foot chain link fence wrapping the perimeter of the site. 4-foot chain link fence wrapping the fire retention, and then,
And that's all black vinyl coated?
yes.
Okay.
And then per the email following the building committee this, 2 weeks ago, was the removal of the outfield fence.
Yep.
And so there was a comment in the planning and zoning comments about the removal of that fence from the town recreation director,
What'd he say?
that they were unaware that that was coming out, so.
Do
we
they
might have-
want that fence?
I think they might. So that should be followed up on if
Well,
that's
did
a
we figure
requirement.
out if we can do like a gradual hill there, or is it still hilly?
So there was from basically the warning, where the warning track was, you could see those 2 dots there. It's field drains. So it was about a 14 or 18 inch drop over like 10 feet. Richter and Segan has been able to flatten that out a little bit more, so it's more of a depression. It's not really a hill.
Okay.
You're not going to sled down it, but.
But I'm gonna fall down it is the
Right,
question.
it would be gradual, and they're going to make it so that it's probably 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 slope. I haven't got that confirmation yet.
Okay.
But if the need is to have a fence, you could do temporary fencing during softball season if you
They're
wanted
not gonna
to.
want to roll that out every
Right.
game.
So. So the area that we're gonna have oops, oh, I had 2 duplicate slides there, huh? So we're gonna just look at, we had some coordination meetings with our acquisition regarding the band room and the choral room. So they're actually looking for us to provide more volume for these spaces due to the number of students in it.
Okay.
So we just did a quick study based on the information. So this is the massing that we had now.
Mhm.
So this massing, I think this was 14 feet high,
Yep.
which allowed for a 12-foot high ceiling. So we'd be looking to raise this entire volume, which is the band room in this location, choral room, and then subsequent the health classroom, make it one mass, and raise that 6 feet to get us 18 feet within the band room.
I have a dumb question. Is it more cost effective to raise it than it is to dig and go deeper?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. If we dug down, then it would be ramping to get down there. We'd have to make it accessible.
Okay.
Looks like then you don't need that screen there.
Yeah, we'd eliminate this roof screen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there'd be actually where the volume ends, it basically ends right at the end of that roof screen, so there'd still be access from the roof here to get back here. So we would eliminate that roof screen as well. And then if this is acceptable, there will be some cost impacts or providing more volume here.
Excuse me.
So it's a basically additional exterior wall. The ceiling would stay the same. The interior walls would get a little bit taller with the increase, and then the flooring would stay the same as well.
And so the extra volume is needed for what reason?
So the extra volume is to create enough volume for when you have the full band in there, that we're not being too powerful and too loud, because the size of the space with the number of students and that ratio.
So
we
actually
need more
dampening
volume.
the sound by going
Yeah,
higher?
so yeah, you're giving more volume to allow the sound to be.
And
at-
doing like different ceiling tiles, other sound absorption materials in the room wouldn't have the same effect?
So if we kept it where we are, we would essentially have to do full wall to ceiling acoustical panels.
Those are expensive.
It's expensive, and they would probably not hold up very well to students being at low. There's another option to go to 4 feet higher, which would be a 16-foot ceiling, which we would be at like 75% acoustical wall panels to 25% not. So we'd be increasing the acoustical wall panels with the
Okay.
lower ceiling. So the lower it goes, the more you need inside.
So like what's the rough cost estimate for the added height?
I'm not sure. Exterior wall could be $120 a square foot for a brick and stud exterior wall. Maybe a little bit more with where we are today.
And you have like how many square feet? Ish.
We looked at it. What did we say it was? I think at 120 we're looking at like $90,000 to $100,000 increase to increase this volume.
$120 a square foot?
Mm-hmm.
Does sound right.
Brick is $40 a square foot.
Right, so, but we're,
Both
the
labor and
backup-
everything?
Backup is stud.
Backup is
Yeah.
not 80.
so maybe it's less than that.
Is that $40 installed?
Yeah.
We just provided some information to another team. I think it's about $80 to $90 for the brick veneer
Okay,
wall with metal stud backup.
yeah, it's metal stud backup.
So were there no acoustical materials in the first rendition of it, and now, or there were
There-
acoustical in the first rendition?
Yes.
And now we don't need any acoustical?
No, we would still need
materials?
some.
You still do
Yeah.
need it, yeah, okay.
So
that
we were
doesn't-
providing about 50% currently.
So there's no offset there, in other
No,
words? Okay.
no. So that would just go up and
Okay. So it's 6 feet added on?
we could go 6 or we could do 4 or somewhere in between.
And how many?
We would recommend doing the full 6.
How many linear feet of? Because you don't have to put brick on the back end of it where it's touching the building, right?
No, that wouldn't be an increase. Actually, that wall would decrease, right, as that went up. So that would be less exterior wall there.
Probably metal panel.
And that's metal panel. We would eliminate the roof screen, so we'd lose all that material. So there'd be a little bit of offset there. So essentially, you'd be gaining 6 feet of brick here, here, and then this side. And then this side would become brick that would replace the metal panel here.
So the 100,000 is not the delta
That would be
between the offsetting what we no longer need to do versus.
right. That would be just looking at the brick increase, not the decreases.
Okay.
And that's a very rough estimate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I figured it's like, what, 120 linear square feet around, you think? Ish?
I forget the number.
You don't
that
have
we
this
had for square
memorized,
foot.
Joe?
I don't. It's too many numbers to remember. It's 6 square feet.
It looks like
This
it's
is-
about 40 by 80, no?
Yeah. So it was roughly. So we thought it would be 100. So it was probably. Let's see, if it was 1,000 square feet and it was $100 a square foot, that would be $100. So it was probably around a little less than a
saying
1,000 square feet.
1,000 linear square feet or is the total
1,000
square
square
feet?
feet, yeah.
Oh, so 6
of
foot.
wall surface, yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. But we're thinking the price is closer to like $40,
50.
$50. So maybe it's half
It's
of
just
that.
the brick, then there's the backup behind it.
Oh, okay.
If
So
it was
it-
curtain wall, it'd be $120 a square
Right.
foot.
The-
Right.
The brick is probably in the $80 to $90 range with the backup.
With the backup. Okay. So 1,000 square feet would tell you that it is 166 linear feet ish,
Let's see.
which I guess would be around the right ballpark.
So it was probably about, call it 720 square feet.
Okay.
And then if we did that times 80, it'd be about plus or minus 57.
Yeah, that sounds about
Roughly.
right.
And
And
then-
then you take away the curtain wall.
Right, minus the metal panel,
Yeah,
and then minus the roof screen.
yeah. So,
Metal panels like 70, there's a decent credit there.
yeah. Okay.
I mean, one of those, it is what it is. Like, we're going to do it right.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have to.
I mean,
We
it's
don't want to
not
not do it and then look
right.
back
It's
and
not
go,
hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is good.
Right.
I think it's fine.
Right, we don't want a band room that's gonna be horrible acoustic.
Yeah, just
Right.
sound bouncing off all the walls.
That's not an easy fix.
Trumpets
So-
are really loud.
Do you know from experience?
Okay. All right. So let's vote on that. I'll take a motion to a vote approving the added 6 feet height over the gym and the chorus, or just the gym?
It would be the gym chorus, and it's that whole
The music
box.
section.
Yeah, so it's the gym chorus, and by extension, the health classroom would get the.
No, band chorus.
Oh, sorry, band
Band
chorus.
chorus,
chorus
health
and
wing.
health.
Wing.
Motion to approve 6-foot height addition to the band chorus music area.
Or a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. No one is abstaining. Motion passes. We do just need 4 people to vote, right, Lisa? Okay. As we go through all this. Oh my gosh.
So these are just, I just left these in the presentation in case we needed to refer to them.
Yeah.
And then, oh, actually, I do need to go back. And I don't have a blow-up of it, unfortunately, because I was just reminded of it in Heather's report. So one of the items that we discussed in the security meeting was needing a pass-through window from the vestibule into...
Pastor window? Is
Yeah,
that what you
like
called
a,
it?
like a teller's window.
Pass through.
Pass-through.
Oh, pass
Like
through.
a-
I thought you said pastor.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Multiple accents coming out here.
I was just thinking, ooh, okay.
So the requirement is to have it within the vestibule and being passed through into the admin space, but that would want to be to behind the counter. So we're gonna have to look at adjusting the counter to have that work. instead
What's
of-
the pass-through window for?
So like a teller's window. So if somebody's picking up an envelope or even a Chromebook, they could just pass it in. They don't have to come into the space, and
Oh, okay.
so that was
Like a ticket window.
like a
Yeah,
ticket
yeah.
window.
I
yeah.
got you.
Ticket
I
window.
got you. Okay.
So we're looking at that adjustment and working it. We're actually developing the admin desk as this week as well with
Okay.
the details. So we might have to slide this vestibule back a little bit to accommodate it, and so just wanted to let you know that was
Okay.
occurring too.
Any value management changes, options that came up this week? I know we still had
Not
some
this
stuff that were
week.
pending.
There was some pending stuff. I don't
Um,
think
Let's see.
I didn't have any value management.
Portal framing detail, CW. Curtain
Curtain
wall.
wall.
Portal framing.
We're still
detail.
looking at that one.
Roof screens. We don't know. Operable windows. Eliminating the operable windows. I thought we decided on that.
Yeah, I thought so.
Did we say no operable windows?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not pending.
Did I leave that as pending? Are you looking at my list from
I'm
the
looking at our
presentation?
notes from last meeting.
Okay.
And then deleting the lighting protection. Did we need anything to determine if we can do that?
Nope. I
No, it
think
was a
that
building committee decision. That's the
Right.
way we left it.
Okay, so.
Yeah, we took that out.
Okay, in our minutes, it said that they were still pending, so if we had taken them out, we need to amend the minutes to reflect that. Or vote on it again. What should we do? Re-vote on?
Just if we can back up for a second.
yeah.
My notes about the operable windows said it was left pending,
Mhm.
pending the security meeting.
Oh,
Oh, right, yeah.
did you guys talk about that
We
at
did
all?
not talk about that.
Nope.
Okay, so that is still pending.
I think it's still pending.
Okay, we'll follow up on that. And then the lightning protection.
Lightning.
Lightning protection.
If I recall, there was no town or insurance requirement for it, so I thought
We got rid of it too?
I don't. You have that listed?
I have listed as a building committee decision that wasn't made.
It wasn't made.
So let's make it.
Okay. All right. So operable windows, we're still waiting on. Roof screen, still waiting on. The curtain wall, we're still waiting for. Item to reviewed in CDs, auditorium ceiling clouds.
The ceiling clouds we'll look at the interiors presentation
Next
week.
week.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let's.
At this point, it's just really an aesthetic
Okay.
issue because it's 37,000-ish difference.
I think with the operable window issue, we talked about, who's the gentleman from CES? Eric. And he said that either way, it wasn't going to affect the HVAC system.
Correct.
I think we wanted to bring that back and let the entire committee know.
Yeah.
So we're waiting. I don't think we could do that tonight.
Well, it looks like we also need to ask as part of a security meeting whether or not they want that.
Oh, right, that's part of it, yeah.
So we'll
Yeah,
just.
but hang on. But the operable windows we have would not work for security. If we wanted to have operable windows for security, it's a totally different system.
I think it's
Because we had to, remember we talked about the limiters and.
I wonder if it's more about
Ventilation.
will it decrease security by having windows opening up a little bit? maybe?
I think the discussion was if they're gonna be used as escape windows or not.
Well, because Blaze mentioned having like one window being an escape window.
Yeah. We talked
But
about
that-
nobody
But
could
that's
get
not in our
in.
plan.
That's not in our
But,
plan.
and,
It
and
doesn't need to be in our plan.
Blaze has, escape windows in his school because it was designed probably before it was even sprinklered.
Mhm.
Okay. I get
Like,
you.
if it wasn't sprinkled, you might require that.
Right, if it
Okay.
was
But we have a
sprinkled, you'd-
sprinkled building, so it's not necessary.
Okay. So do we still need to have a discussion with the security team, or can we vote on it?
I don't think so, because it doesn't, the system we have would need to be modified significantly to be used as a security feature.
I would like, if it's okay, to go back and rewatch our meeting and just listen to the discussion and see, because I feel like my brain has absorbed so much
Yeah.
since then.
We could
And just
table
kind
it.
of reground myself to some of the concerns.
Yep.
And figure out why we didn't vote on it, because
Yeah.
I don't recall exactly why we didn't. And then if we need to follow up with PD or Enza or
Whoever.
to
Yeah.
close a loop, I will
Okay. So
task myself with that.
we can just table that for this week then. And then the lightning protection, we can vote on if someone wants to make a motion to vote on the lightning protection.
Motion to remove or to accept the value management of removing lightning protection from the building.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries.
I do have a couple of notes from last time some things that I followed up on. So the retention basin fencing went from 6-foot chain link to 4-foot chain link, and I think,
Yeah.
Joe, you said that.
Yep.
That's what you're showing on the drawings, and that was a
Correct.
savings of $4,500. I don't think we had that value last time.
No. And you also, didn't you look at if it was 4-foot ornamental fencing, and it was an
I
ad?
don't have the pricing, but that usually runs about 3 times as much as chain link, so that's gonna be like in the hundreds of thousands, or more than 100,000 to go back to ornamental.
Saving.
There's quite a bit of fence there.
That's nice. Savings.
No.
No,
That's
increase.
that's
To go
to
to
add,
the-
because the drawing showed 6-foot chain link.
Oh, we're going to chain link though,
Yeah,
right?
so we're going
Yeah.
from 6-foot chain link to 4-foot chain link.
So we-
SLR would prefer us to stay at 6 because it's a middle school, but.
No, but you were talking about ornamental fencing that was on the other side of the school, right? Is that
Well,
what you were
yeah,
talking
but it
about?
was also mentioned around
Yeah,
that
We had
basin.
talked about changing the fencing to ornamental
Oh, around the
the
right.
basin.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and
no.
that's
Which would
gonna
be an
jump-
increase.
Oh, yeah,
it's
no.
gonna jump
But
us
wait a
way
minute,
up.
you know what, there's another consideration. OSCG won't reimburse a 4-foot fence.
They won't?
I don't believe so, no.
No, they,
Really?
unless the rule has changed, they will not reimburse a 4-foot fence.
Even the one around the soccer field? Any 4-foot fencing?
No, I don't believe they will.
Let's task SLR with not having a fence at all.
Around the retention basin?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one in a project right now that doesn't have a fence around it. This is not some state highway that we're designing that has to have a fence around a detention
And
basin.
it's not it's not standing water that kids could like drown in or anything, right?
It could fill up, but it's meant to drain. It's not meant to hold water for a long period of time, but it could have water in it for a period of time, depending on the amount of water.
That's the same as the one I'm doing right now.
Okay, let's take that action then. See if we even need a fence there.
Or ask Mike Segan what he thinks about it too. Might be better to ask the landscape architect.
It'd be
Okay.
good to know like why we need it. Let's put it this way, why do we even need a fence there?
Okay. I'll see
Is
if
it a
it's
safety
if it's
concern? Is
required,
it-
and then why it's provided.
Yeah.
Okay, so another item was, you asked us to look into the porcelain tile at Main Street, change to an epoxy terrazzo, and that would be a deduct of $6,000.
Do we want the epoxy terrazzo?
If you don't use the ceramic, if you use the ceramic chips, then it's an add of 25,000.
I thought during our meeting, we agreed that we liked the epoxy terrazzo. I recall that in our.
That's what we voted on last time, was to go
Well,
with that.
we
Wait a minute.
voted on the epoxy for the bathrooms.
Right,
Correct.
tabled-
Epoxy resin flooring.
correct. We
Right.
tabled
For
this
those
one.
toilets.
Right, we
Oh.
tabled the one that Tom's talking about right now.
in the
We-
foyer.
Yes, we had tabled that
Main
until
Street.
he had actual numbers.
So next Thursday, let's see what the comparison of samples is.
Yeah, I, 'cause
Yeah.
I
Do.
can't visualize what this epoxy terrazzo
So
is.
it's just epoxy terrazzo is terrazzo. It's terrazzo. It's a traditional terrazzo. It's a concrete base. You've seen it. Probably, I don't think there's out there, but
Every museum in the world has it, and it
Right.
always cracks.
It cracks a lot. It's
Yeah.
easy cracks.
it's
But
yeah,
that's
if you don't do
that's
control
part of its
during
charm.
Porcelain doesn't crack.
trade,
No,
if it's done right, it's not, that shouldn't.
Can we look at the samples next week and see and compare?
Yeah, so we'll get epoxy terrazzo samples to go with the porcelain tile, and then we can make a decision then.
Because the
So
difference
are
in cost is
Are you
like
saying no to the epoxy terrazzo?
no. I just want to see the samples of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will change the look. Yeah.
Okay. I
But
just
the-
when you were like it cracks, I wanted to make
No,
sure
no,
that wasn't
regular-
what you were
regular
referring to.
Go to the Met. They have terrazzo floors. They're all cracked.
The bathrooms was different, that was just a.
that's like
pour
really
epoxy.
old building
That
though.
was-
I know, but they
And it's
always
New York.
crack.
There's like a subway that goes underneath it.
All I'm saying, if it's okay to crack there,
The crack adds some color to that building.
it's some character.
Character. That's what I'm looking for. Character. Okay, so let's
All
table
right,
that.
so the other note I have is I don't know if you were considering it, but you asked us to put a rough order of magnitude for a synthetic field in lieu of a
Oh yeah.
natural grass field, and that was $1 million. So we
Right.
don't know if you wanted to make that an alternate. or if you
No, so
wanted to
I brought it
include-
to the town council last week. I should have mentioned that. And I basically said our plan and what's in our scope is to not include the synthetic field. And if they wanted to raise the issue and discuss, they can. They didn't. So my assumption is that notion's dead, that we're not going to.
Okay.
They're doing a whole other field
Right.
thing. They'll have a nice synthetic field at the high school. They don't need to.
Okay, and then just to review, I now have 4 bid alternates. One is the amphitheater, which is already baked into the documents. Remove and replace existing baseball field irrigation system.
Yep.
That's gonna be an alternate. Batting cages in the gym is an alternate.
Mm-hmm.
And the aluminum feeders in lieu of copper for the electrical feeders, that's an alternate as well.
So were you going to find a cost difference between those two? The copper and the aluminum? 'Cause I thought copper was going up
We
again.
won't know until we go to bid, I thought.
Right, I thought we were gonna wait for
Okay,
the bid.
so that's
It's in
why we're doing the
flux.
alternates, because we don't know. Okay, yeah.
It's looking like aluminum's going to be less
Yeah,
based on.
yeah. There's a copper shortage or something. I don't know. Okay. So going back to the 4-foot chain link around the soccer field now, if that's not reimbursable, which I didn't know it was not reimbursable, and that's a long, long fence, do we want to consider making that a 6-foot fence?
I don't think it would be, unless you could say that it's for safety. It has to be for security or for safety. If it's just a fence to have a fence, then you could say it's for safety so the balls don't go into the parking lot.
Well, it's what's the word I'm looking for? Bordering the entire property, right? It's for
Well,
child.
that usually we can get as considered a security fence.
So a
around
4
the
foot would be
property.
okay?
No.
Oh.
6 foot. 6
Okay.
foot.
So it's 6 foot only if it's for security. So that red line right there
Yep.
would be a security fence, in my opinion, because it's bordering the property of the school so that no one goes into the school property. And for balls, whatever gets kicked off the field. So in order for it to be reimbursable, and that's a long fence, it would have to be a 6-foot fence, is what I'm hearing. And the other question I have is, will there be a pedestrian entrance at that lower parking lot towards the field? And would it need to be like a gated with a lock type of entrance, or could it just be an open?
Right here,
Yeah.
I believe there is a gate there. There's an accessible path that connects.
So it doesn't have to be locked during the school day. Do you know?
I don't think there's any requirement for it
Okay.
to be locked.
All right, but it is a gate. It's not a
Mhm.
one of those like offset, sneak in between the two panels type of play thing.
No, it's a gate. It would be a gate.
You know what
The
I'm talking about.
The
Yes.
whisk gate isn't always closed.
Chicane.
Yeah.
That's true.
Locked.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
also 4 foot.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree that soccer fence looks like it, to me, that's a security fence.
Well, yeah, it's bordering the property of the school, right? You don't want people just going out that way. Now, yeah, and the balls, prevent the balls from going all over the place.
I think Richter and Segan was intending it more to be a safety fence than a security fence, because the field's adjacent.
What's the difference?
So that, because the field's adjacent to parking, so that kids running on the soccer field wouldn't just run off and into the parking. Or if the ball went off, so it would keep the balls in the field and then, or better keep the balls in the field.
You're saying the state does not reimburse safety fences?
No, they should.
They should,
do.
yeah.
Okay, but only if it's 6 foot.
Yeah.
So, and that's a long fence, right? So, do we want to make that a 6 foot fence? I didn't realize we made that a 4 foot fence. Why would we make that a 4 foot fence anyway?
I think it was a 4-foot fence.
Why?
Well, if you're
I'd have to
standing on the
check.
outside watching a game,
Right.
So,
Like,
Oh.
viewing
think about it this
purposes.
way.
I get you.
We got the fence that we're looking at taking out around the rain garden. That went from 6 feet to 4 feet. And there was a reduction of $4,500,
Yes.
right? So to add probably a comparable amount to that soccer
it's
fence,
4,500.
it's like, what, 10,000 max?
Yeah. But how much is the total cost and like, what's the total cost and what would be reimbursable back to the town? You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
we're talking like, so it's 2 feet.
I don't think it's, the cost is that significant to make
Okay.
it 6 feet.
No, and then it's half of it's reimbursed.
Yeah.
If we keep it 4 feet, we're paying for the whole thing.
Right.
You'd be netting paying for an additional foot. Right, half of 6 is 3.
So let's make it 6 feet.
So you're saying so now I've gone cross-eyed. So if a 4 foot fence, so that, what do we even know what that 4 foot fence, that length would have cost us? Just the 4 foot, roughly.
I don't have that detail, but I could tell you that what we carried in the estimate for a 4 foot fence is $110 a linear foot, and for a 6 foot fence, we carried $120 a linear foot.
So it's $10 a foot.
$10 a foot difference.
So if that was 100 feet, it's more, but let's say it was 100 feet, 20. That's a lot of money back to the town, right? 50,000-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But if it was 4 feet,
we'd have to pay the whole thing.
right?
Yeah, so it's more cost effective to raise it to 2
Raise,
feet.
Yeah.
it's more cost effective to raise it 2
Yes.
feet. Yes.
They get the reimbursement.
What do we have at the middle school now on the soccer field? Is that 6 foot? That's 6
No.
foot. No? I don't know. I think it's taller than me. No? Yes.
I think the perimeter fence is 5 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
5
5
feet?
feet's more
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
The
Because
state will
we
pay 5
need, we need
feet.
6 feet for our construction barrier, and we said, oh, it's short a foot, so.
That's how you know that.
Okay. And the state only reimburses 6 feet or taller. I'm not a big fan of seeing that 6 foot 6 foot fence at that northern end. I don't know, that bothers me, but,
Yeah, it seems.
right, seems like
seems
overkill.
Too obtrusive, like
Yeah.
this,
Where?
the small.
And maybe
section.
that's why they wanted to go with
The
ornamental
section
fence.
that connects to
Connected
the
to
central
BOE.
office.
Yeah,
There's trees in front of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
true. It'll be hidden for the most part. All right. Well, we want to vote?
Yes.
I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve 6 foot fence
Along the
along
soccer field.
soccer field connecting to BOE.
Anyone second it?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Can I ask a question about all the trees in the parking lot?
There's a lot.
There's a lot, and I know that there is some requirement or something, but I've looked around parking lots in this town, and none of them
Have
have
trees.
even close to the number of trees that are shown there.
Wis has one tree.
One or two.
One or
I
two.
mean, there's
Yeah,
a couple off to the side.
But let's not look at Home Depot and Walgreens and
No,
make it look like
and
that.
no, I'm not. But that just seems like
Overkill.
a lot of trees, and therefore a lot of cleanup.
I like the idea of trees around the perimeter, but I'm not sure if we want all those trees like on the parking lot.
Is the requirement just to have the grass area, natural area, or is it to have a tree?
My understanding is that you're required to have the trees, and I believe it's a certain number of trees per number of parking spaces.
By the town?
But in the zoning, yeah.
Really?
What's that number?
Does no one else?
I don't
Follow
know
that
that
rule?
number.
None of
I
our-
could confirm it for you.
But
Yeah,
it
because
could-
none of
there
our
could be-
there's like no other property in town that has that many trees in the middle of their parking lots. They just built.
But there's also different zones in town. There could be different requirements
Well,
for different
Wis,
zones.
the school right next door doesn't have trees in the middle of their parking lot. The high school.
And I
doesn't have
guarantee you,
tr- the high school has
rules
trees.
haven't changed.
Yeah. And those are trees, not bushes, right?
Yes.
The
I would
bushes-
just like to double. I just
Yeah, let's
my
double
own
check
peace of
that.
mind.
I-
It just seems like a lot of
I'll
trees.
have to look it up.
Because these trees are like what,
I don't think
200
there's
a,
enough.
200 a planting at least. You don't think there's enough?
No.
Oh my gosh, Ken,
Yeah.
kill me. Okay. Yeah, let's find out what the actual requirement. And then another question we had was the outdoor learning area. Did we ask about like what other options there were to rearrange those trees last time?
I think you were asking about
Like that
making
area
this
there?
more symmetrical, but
Yeah.
I thought that we decided that that was just going to stay as designed.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
because otherwise it would have to
The egress.
the egress path would have to
paths.
get redefined.
Yeah.
and would
Okay.
could have
It wasn't worth the.
might have ended up with more
Reconfiguration.
pavement instead of less.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Construction documents, where are we with those?
We are going to be at about 2/3 of the way done by the end of the month, which is next week, and we'll be doing a QA/QC review of those internally, and also sending those to Newfield for them to look at it for constructability as well.
What's QA, QC, quality?
Quality assurance, quality control. And that will be for all trades.
Who actually checks these prints? Like senior designers, like you? Who?
Yes, so Lauren, who's our project architect, does continuous redlining throughout the process.
all
I
right.
look at them, Joe Costa looks at them,
Okay.
and then we have a separate QA/QC review of somebody who's not on the project to
Okay.
review it.
So is there like a checklist they follow, like make sure that
Yes.
all that
yeah.
stuff? Okay, good.
And then once we go through all our process and when the final documents, then it goes to either the local officials for a code review
Mhm.
or a third-party review. I think we might be doing local officials, but we'll see what they say. And then there's also a separate third-party threshold review for structural.
And do you
And
guys
Jack
do
mentioned
like?
I don't think we're doing local. I think,
Oh, is it
remember you
going-
have a proposal for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
think
it. That changed.
Arcadis is
Sorry.
doing it or something.
Third-party code review services.
Okay. Oh, so we are doing that. Excellent.
Do you guys do 3D renderings?
Yeah, we've produced 3D renderings.
Oh. We got them already?
Yeah. Here's one back here. I don't have any other ones in the presentation.
No,
but-
like internal ones.
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we showed. What have we shown? So the auditorium, the gym.
Oh, that's right.
Main
yeah,
Street,
yeah,
the,
yeah.
court,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
courtyard.
Okay.
Not the courtyard. The classroom commons area.
That's right. Yeah, we'll need those probably for people at some point. Okay. All right. And then next thing on your list was timeline. Are we still on track?
Yes.
Okay. Jessica, do you have a comment?
Rosanna,
Yeah. Go.
can I just ask a quick question before you go on to the timeline?
Sure.
Back to the QA check.
You're breaking up a little bit,
project for
Jessica. Can
them.
you repeat
know,
that?
Like, are they looking at the connection for the,
Jessica,
sorry, commissioning agents?
Commissioning
Are they
agent.
involved?
commissioning agents, are they involved?
Yes. Yeah, so we've received design development comments that we have to respond to.
Okay.
And then they'll do, I don't know when, I'm not sure what their contract states. We'll have to check in with Brian and see if when their next review would be.
Okay.
So they do have at least probably one more review of the documents.
Okay, good. All right. Any other questions on construction documents or or anything, timeline? Looks like you guys are still keeping to what we presented last week or
Yep,
last meeting.
Bara's getting closer to the star, so.
And then when we get to that star, what happens?
So when we get to the star, so that when we complete CDs, then it would go to the third-party review and the threshold review.
Okay.
Once we get comments back from the third party, from both of those reviews, we'll respond to those. Once those are all responded to, sometimes there's some back and forth on those, then it would come to the local officials to sign off on that review that they allowed.
Yeah.
And once they sign off, then it goes to the building committee and Board of Ed to vote on to go
Okay,
to
the
the
phase
state for the
two.
PCR. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So PCR, we're thinking like end of September then?
September 14th, I think.
Yeah, so
I think
mid-September.
Jack
September
actually
14th.
scheduled it already. I don't know if that's the exact date he got, but
Who scheduled it?
Jack.
With the Board of Ed?
No,
with the state.
Oh, yeah, but when would the
Oh,
Board of
the
Ed?
Board
and
of Ed meeting, we have,
Would be
the building
before
committee
then.
is 9/6 is what I have. I think that's a regular meeting
So
day,
have the
and
Board
then-
of Ed come to that meeting?
Well, I have them at
Could.
9/12, but if you want to get them together with you, we might be able to go to the PCR a little earlier.
So 9/12 is their normal meeting, 9/6 is our meeting.
I think it's your meeting. I'm not sure, because
Will you
at
be
that
ab-
time, I thought it was
We have 9/13.
it's every 2 weeks. Yeah, I didn't realize that when I did this. So
Well,
you're a
the
day after the Board of
proposals.
Ed then.
Proposal is 9/13.
Oh, on the top of the list. Yeah, 9/13 would be ours.
That's
right.
yours?
So you would
Okay.
vote on the 13th, and then we go to the PCR the next day.
And then the only issue of 9/13, it conflicts with town council, so I don't know if that makes a difference.
Oh. And 9/12 is Board of Ed meeting, right?
That's what I have, yeah.
I don't think it matters if we conflict, does it? We've conflicted before.
With what, town council?
Mm.
Not unless you have to be at town council for some reason.
Yeah, Jack's got the PCR for 9/14.
So you want us to meet, so PCR is the meeting with the state?
Yes.
So you would need us to meet the BOE prior to that. So they have their normal meeting on the 12th. We have our meeting on the 13th. I don't know if it's easier for us to go to their meeting.
I was gonna say, can we have them put something on their agenda, and we can go and get whatever.
It's just, how
approvals.
does that work if we have to vote with them,
You don't
Lisa?
have to vote with them. You can approve it separately.
Oh, okay. So maybe we'll have to do it that for that week because.
And as far as I know, there's not an order that it has to be done in.
The board can meet first and
Okay.
get their approval.
All right,
just
so
to-
let's do that then. Let's have them, go to them on the 12th and then our meeting on the 13th.
Right.
Okay. All right. All right, next thing on here was fee proposal for early procurement package phase with possible action. So we have this part that we have to look at, and then you have, Joe, you have your part of it too, right?
Yes.
You think?
Right?
I was just looking at, so I just had a.
Oh, you have more to go? I'm sorry.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah. Sorry,
just-
dates.
Just quickly, just
Yeah, yeah.
meetings to occur, so I'm gonna reach out to the building inspector and fire marshal and see if we can get a meeting set up for Tuesday or Thursday next week, just to review the plans with them.
Okay.
Usually I'd like to do that earlier than this, but with all the different things that were happening in March and then the pause hasn't occurred yet, so. we'd like
Can
to-
we attend that?
Sure, yeah. I'll invite whoever needs
I
to
won't be
there.
able to. Maybe John, will you be available on the 26th? Next Tuesday? Oh, it's during the day.
No.
It would be during
You're not here? Oh, you're back to work, okay. All right, we'll have to figure something out.
Usually it's better not to have too many people in those meetings.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we need to have a representative there, but we're all tied up, it looks like. Okay,
Tomorrow morning,
is it virtual?
I suppose it could be. I'll check with them and see what they prefer.
So if it's virtual, I
Yeah.
can dial in. I just
What
physically
about
will.
Ken Jackson? Is he around?
I forget when he gets back from vacation.
Oh, he's on vacation now,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know what I'd have to go dig and see when he gets back.
okay. All right, let me know if you can make it a virtual meeting, in which case, we can have a better chance of attending it.
Okay. We have the Eversource model review meeting tomorrow. And as we discussed, the exterior and interior materials presentation on the 29th. And then we'd like to do like a final, what I'm calling a specification review, just to go over products and what we have in the specifications. If there's any town requirements, school requirements.
Do you want anyone else besides building committee people at that 6:29 meeting? Like, do we need, I don't know, any town people there?
If you wanted
Are they
them
typically there?
at the materials presentation.
Yeah, do they typically come?
Not typically. Usually, we're just presenting to the committee.
Maybe we
The
should just
design subcommittee.
extend it. Do we want to extend it to anyone in the town, Heather? Nah, okay. We'll
And
figure that out.
we will present it for the full
The planning
committee.
zone, yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a good point. And then final specification review, what specification is that?
So it would be just looking at stuff as simple as what you use for toilet accessories, or if you have a specified vendor. We already started with the door hardware. Just trying to think of different products that we always run into. Fire alarm system, if there's a specific vendor.
Hand dryers.
Right. Elevator, if there's a vendor that's preferred over others.
Otis.
So,
Otis.
well, so that's the kind of stuff we just, I mean, we have to list 3, but if there's a preferred one, then we'll make it the basis of design. Just that final last minute clarifications.
I had a question. Oh, the Eversource meeting tomorrow?
Yep.
Is anyone on the committee on that meeting, and do we need to be?
I was not aware of that one.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it either.
Yeah, I'm not, you should have been. It's
Did
not,
you?
not my meeting, so I think Charlie from Eversource set that up.
He did? Did he
I
send it
thought
to
so.
me?
Hold
He
on.
probably did, and I didn't realize it.
Let's see.
Cromwell Middle School mid-design review at 9 a.m.?
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Mid-design review, yeah.
And at 9 a.m.,
You
So
want to forward
Eric,
it to me? I should be able
Heather,
to attend.
Jack.
yeah, I'll forward it to you.
I was on it as well.
Yep. And Shannon.
Wow.
Sorry. I'm only a messenger.
It was one. You know what? It's a Teams meeting, so it was like one of those weird emails that you don't realize it's a meeting request when you get it. You think it's like a.
It's from Charlie?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he was the organizer.
Wow. It's in my calendar, so I had it.
Oh, he set that up like weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been on the calendar for a while.
So I marked myself yes. But that was a long time ago. There have been lots of days in between then and now.
Understandable.
I actually have
Okay.
a meeting at the town hall tomorrow morning, so for
Well,
something different.
I'm glad I reviewed it then.
So I will be present.
Thank you, Heather.
Let me set my alarm now.
And then some of the data gathering that's going to be occurring is soil sampling, other investigative work for the phase 1, and then the additional topo survey, which we'll be talking about in a minute, I think.
So the soil sampling, the town stills. Their initial pass town said that should have been included with the RFQ, like that was part of the package.
Okay.
So I asked them what they wanted me to do next about it, and they said they'd get back to me, so I don't know if they have to consult legal,
Okay.
so we can't authorize that tonight.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely do not think it was part of it. We had hygienics when they reviewed the RFQ did not indicate that that was
It was in the RFP.
RFQ. Yeah, that whole document.
Yeah.
And there was no information of how much sampling, so we wouldn't have known how much to carry for sampling. So,
I hear you, but they ultimately end up approving it, so if I don't get their buy-in,
Have we gotten an opinion from Jack? What's
Jack feels like it was part of the RFP.
he does? Okay.
We read we got a copy of the RFQFP that was issued, and it does break down what should be included, and it clearly says that
Soil testing and
it should be
engineering.
included. So there was environmental, and it keeps on breaking down all of these things. That's why Jack feels that it should be part of it.
yeah, what Jack pointed out to me was it was soil engineering and testing,
Yeah.
which we believe was meant to be structural, so borings and sieve tests to understand the bearing capacities of the soil engineering, and the subsequent testing, not soil environmental testing was not indicated.
I thought soil testing was soil testing.
And what's the value?
So-
Perkins has provided a proposal with their markup for $25,124.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, even if we approved it here, the town is kind of balking at it, so we need to get their buy-in first.
Yeah, you have to make the recommendation. You would make the recommendation, but Tony, as the town manager, would sign it. And if he's
I
gonna,
think we just need better
back.
justification than,
And
we didn't interpret it the way you interpreted it.
Is this a reimbursable, or is this something that needs to get done? Is the work complete?
No,
No,
we
it
haven't
hasn't
started it
been-
yet.
hasn't
We
started
started
yet.
some of the investigative
They need
work.
to,
the
they
other-
basically need to test the soil at where the current soccer field is. So they are expecting that some of the soil will leave the site, and because it's leaving the site, it needs to get tested. I'm saying, well, why don't we figure out if we actually need to leave the site? 'Cause I have a feeling we're gonna use all that soil again to build up the other soccer field, but
Yeah, but there's not enough laydown area on the site to keep it there, I'm sure. That could be the problem.
they're gonna put it around the softball field, I thought.
I don't know.
There's another concern. If it comes back contaminated, then it has to leave the site. It can't be reused if it's contaminated. So I was gonna chime in and say that time is of the essence here, because, we're assembling bid documents and we need to know
So
everything we can
Yeah,
about
if
the
it-
what's
site.
frustrating to me is that initially, like one of our first meetings, we had talked about how we had a concern about the soccer field soil. And I can go back in the minutes, and no one seemed to be concerned about the soil at the soccer field. I said, there used to be a farming site. I know there's pesticides, and no one seemed to be concerned about it. And I had brought it up way back when. So now all of a sudden it's a concern. A little frustrating that we're talking about it now. Like, we could have put this into our individual plan, right? And I know it's 25,000, doesn't sound like a lot, but we are in save every penny mode. So,
Well, when was the 25,000 first presented to us?
last week, 2 weeks ago, last week, I think we got the
Yeah, we
estimate
got
from
the
you.
estimate, updated,
Yeah, it has to
the
be within.
proposal from hygienics this week.
Yeah.
Or
We
end of
met with
last week.
hygienics on site to look at, there was an area of concern, what we call an AOC, and two significant data gaps in the Phase 1 ESA.
Yeah.
So Jack, myself, and hygienics, we met on site and we reviewed the three areas. One is the old transformer room near the front entrance. It's locked. It's an Eversource lock, so we need to get in there and look at that. There's a tank on the east side of the building that we think might be an old septic tank, but no one seems to have any records. So we need to figure out what's in that and what it was
Yeah.
for. And then the area of concern was the soils
Right.
being tested. So you have to do it because it's been flagged by the state and it was brought up at the DDR meeting.
Right.
I'm not arguing whether or not it has to be done. My argument is what,
Understood.
the contract was supposed to cover, so. I really don't know what to do here because I like I said, the town's already balking at it. So, we can provide our recommendation, but they're not gonna care if they have their own opinion on it. We've gone down this road before, so my recommendation is to provide more substantiation why we felt there was a difference in what you had quoted and, what the town perceived as being included in that contract. And maybe if there's a timeline issue, like the original testing was done after you were on board, so you didn't have the results at the time and all of that, maybe include all of
Right.
that timeline into the discussion, then we can go back to them and explain it, but
Okay.
they're kind of feeling like we're getting a little bit of nickel and dimed, and
You can approve the proposal tonight contingent upon final approval from the town, so that if the town does sign off on it, you can
I mean, we can
grudgingly-
approve the testing, but what we can't, I mean, we can prove the the need for the testing, but whether or not who pays for it, the town's gonna have to decide on that.
Well, that's what I mean. The recommendation in the meeting minutes would say that you're recommending and you're approving it, but the final approval is contingent upon
The town.
So that way we don't have to meet again to release Perkins. Your meeting minutes would clearly state that if the town manager says, okay, then they're released to go. Because from what I'm hearing, it's time is of the essence.
I would say it'd be contingent on the agreement with the town,
Yeah.
not necessarily their approval, but whatever agreement they come down to.
The other thing we could do with this is you could have hygienics be direct to you, not through us. For us, it's a pass-through, so we're marking it up 10% on their proposal.
Yeah,
So if you had them direct, you would save that markup as well.
okay.
But then does it have to go through a
We'd have to go through
bidding
bid,
process and all
Oh,
that?
really?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, we have a $40,000 investigative allowance in our pre-con fee that you could certainly apply the 25 toward it. It is investigative work.
But is there future investigative work we might have to do?
I don't think so. We're almost there.
Right.
Would
This
that
is-
40 come back to us if it's not used?
Yes. It's an allowance. So
So
if we
right
don't
as
spend
part-
it, you
yeah.
get it back.
So as part of Newfield's pre-construction contract, there is an investigative allowance line that right now, if you, like Joe just said, you decide hygienics, we have your proposal, you advise Newfield, you have an investigative services allowance line, pay them directly, then that solves
Right.
a lot of things.
Is I read it, but I forgot. Is the proposal broken down? Because I don't think the tank investigation and the transformer work
They had
would be
4
part of
different-
what you're arguing about, right? It would just be the soils testing. I don't know if you broke it down, though.
It's-
Yeah.
I don't
it's-
think you
They
did.
had 4 tasks.
I think if we put the contingency in there about about the town approval, like if the lawyer comes back
You
and
didn't
says,
break it
yeah,
down.
it's justified.
Ultimately,
He's kind of like on the border too.
even if you decide to go through Newfield, if it hadn't gone through it would be a reimbursable cost, because it would be as if Newfield is letting you know, we needed this to be done and we're gonna hire them directly under our allowance line. As an
Okay.
allowance cost, Newfield can hire hygienics or whoever it might be from their own and just send you the invoice, and the state would reimburse you for it, because it is an allowance
So it wouldn't
line.
be a change order then?
It wouldn't be a change
just
order
be-
because it's already part
Right.
of their
You-
work.
You
I'd
wouldn't
say
have
then
to bid
defer to
it.
the town attorney. Let them hash it out.
So should we approve it? Contingent of the town's recommendation, or take it out
Contingent
of?
upon the town's decision.
We can do that, or we just approve it, taking up their investigative allowance,
Out of
which, I mean, it's not an added cost, but again, it's cost we shouldn't have had to spend, so.
And it's no markup on that one, right?
There's no markup on that
And
one?
there's no markup. If going through Newfield, there wouldn't be a markup.
Under the allowance, there wouldn't be a markup,
Yeah.
correct?
So you would just be looking at 22,840.
What's the risk of using up the rest of the allowance on other things? I mean, we're using 25
We
out
don't-
of 40.
As a matter of fact, we have a pre-con fee for the procurement. I'm suggesting you take that out of the allowance or apportion the allowance, because I don't think we're gonna need it. I mean, this is it. We're
Okay.
doing a little bit of soils investigation. Nobody's asked us to do any other demo or anything.
What are your thoughts, Ken?
I think we need to do it because we take, not doing this work now is a significant risk to the budget.
Okay. And assuming that the soil does come back contaminated, are we looking at a huge cost for bringing dirt in?
Yes.
One that you didn't account for.
There's different levels of like contamination. There's contaminated, and then there's like, what's the other term?
Polluted.
Polluted.
Polluted could be reused.
Polluted could
Less.
stay as long as polluted soil can stay on site and be used as fill.
Okay.
But if there's no room on the site, then you have to truck all that off.
What kills me is like we're letting our kids run around on this field. So you'd hope that it's not contaminated or whatever.
It's kind of undisturbed right now, too.
It's undisturbed, I know, yeah.
But it's worth getting it tested now than having all our bids in and then having to deal with.
Oh, yeah. If you had to deal with it as a change condition, you'd really pay a lot
Yeah,
more.
we want to know now. We don't
Right.
want to know when they're starting to break ground.
So we would need to be unanimous. And you're suggesting we take it out of the contingency then?
No, are you suggesting that Newfield does this directly from their investigative services allowance line?
Or do you still want the town to investigate who pays for it?
I think the town's going to take issue with it either way, right? Because it's still
Yeah,
20
that doesn't resolve the argument. It just gives you an avenue to save the
Yeah.
10% and to move it along without bidding.
I'm okay either way. I mean,
So, like, let me put it this way: if I was in Joe's shoes, and there was, you had to test soil for engineering, I'm not sampling it for contaminated soil. I'm testing it for subgrade conditions for foundations, geotechnical analysis. So I understand his point.
even if your client was concerned about contamination from day one?
But when was that concern pointed out? Was it after they were already brought on?
Yeah. It was one
So
of the first meetings we had when we were
yeah,
talking
so
about
then
soil
it would have been a
testing.
change order then, or an additional service then.
Okay.
We would have had to state that we had that concern when we went out with the RFQ.
So saying soil testing and soil engineering in our RFP wasn't adequate, is what you're saying?
That's kind of what I'm feeling like.
What would you have done?
I'd have to re-review the whole RFP again.
It basically just says, like, one of the line items is soil engineering and soil testing. So what would we
You would have had to say it was environmental testing.
was under the environmental section?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. and so is our dilemma. I mean, let's see. Here, I'll pull it right up and I can read it to you. We can sell this right here. RFQ. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da, scope.
Well, so while she's looking at that, Joe, in your proposal, were there any qualifications for soil testing?
In the proposal to responding to the RFQ?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
I found it so quick last time. Oh,
I
this is
found
the-
it.
You found it? Oh, thank you. Wow, you were faster than I was.
Right, so you're looking at,
She has better service.
I know.
it doesn't specify, it's not under environmental.
Survey and topology, yeah, it's environmental is a different scope of work.
Right, which we carried for hazardous materials in the building, PCBs,
Soils and engineering testing,
asbestos,
that's
et cetera.
geotechnical. But then it says geotechnical over here.
Right. And there's a separate line item for geotechnical.
Right, so geotechnical design, which is all the sub bases, And then soil engineering and testing would be,
But that's taking your borings, and that's their, those are their recommendations.
So what goes under environmental then?
environmental would be hazardous materials in the building, asbestos, PCBs, lead, etc.
Nothing in the site? So what do you, so when you build a new school, you never check the soil on the site?
Wasn't included in our proposal, so
I mean, like in general, when you
If
go
it's
to
not
build a new
required.
building, you don't look at soil? You've never done that before?
No, we do, especially if there's evidence that there's been, former farm use or industrial use, but this is Cromwell, I don't know that you would
It's a,
really
with a
be
farming town.
would be a red flag or not, I
right.
don't know.
And at the time of proposal, my understanding, because I wasn't involved with the proposal, was that we didn't have the Freeman Phase 1 environmental report either. So there would have been no indication that there would be any need for soil testing.
Was that done before? Was that done last spring or was that done after? That was done before you guys?
That was done before.
And you didn't see it on our website or anything where we?
Yeah, Rosanna, wasn't there a survey in the spring? Sorry, prior to referendum last year, wasn't that part of one of our testing packages was environmental testing?
Yeah. So when does a decision need to be made by before it becomes critical? Not yesterday, hopefully.
Could you put it back on the agenda for the meeting on the 29th? Or when are we meeting?
On Tuesday?
The 27th, we're meeting with the joint committee, yeah.
Yes.
5 days from now.
So I think yesterday.
Lisa, can you, and then we'll just force the town to make a decision by then? Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, let's table that till Tuesday then. All right, and then, I kind of skipped over everything to get there tonight. So early procurement package phase. All right, so that's this, part of Newfield, and then, Joe, you have yours?
I think Joe has two more, right?
Yeah, we have, the other one was for the additional topographical survey work at the, across the street from the main entrance to capture that sidewalk in order to provide accessible crosswalks
Yep.
and curb cuts.
Yep.
And that's a total cost of $1,292.50.
Yep. That was okay with me. The town did have an issue with that as well, but I think it's beyond the property line of the school, so I think, and they're requesting it, so that
So-
wasn't part of the original plan.
You mentioned that the town feels like they're being nickel and dimed. Is
Yeah.
it because of these recent
Um,
additional service requests?
Yeah, I can read you what they wrote. It's all public information anyway. After discussion with the town manager, we have some concerns. So number one was the additional topography survey. This is for the sidewalk across the street from the main entry. To provide the requested crosswalks, this area was not previously surveyed. Their response to that was, the invoice for the survey work came about after discussion with town staff on traffic concerns. We're going to be sent an invoice every time the town notices something that should have been addressed or included as part of the original project fee. That was a question. Are we going to be sent an invoice every time the town notices something that should have been addressed or included as part of the original project fee?
So that was out of our scope line.
Yeah.
I think they have every justification for
I-
submitting it.
I do as well. So, and that's, I don't think that was that much anyway. It was like, what, a couple thousand?
1,200.
1,200?
$1,292.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
nothing compared. It's in the noise. The second one is early procurement package proposal covers additional drawings and specification, meetings, PCR review to procure the switchgear generator and RTUs. Their response was, we believe that in the design development phase, the architect is supposed to supply plans on the structural, mechanical, and electrical services, so why is this a separate fee? They didn't understand that the whole, like, advanced
It's totally legitimate.
Yeah, I did too. I tried to explain to her that what we're doing is in addition to, because it's us, you have to go through a separate
And
package.
we may not have been in this situation had we not been delayed.
Right. Yes. Sore spot, yes. And Jack responded as well with the same argument. So I have no issues with those first two at all. And then the third one, she said they feel that the soil testing was within their scope. So we are sending this to the attorney for review was the last thing she said. And I haven't heard back from her since. That was yesterday at, what time? 3:30 in the afternoon. Which means we're going to get a nice big legal fee from their legal people.
Is the legal fee $25,000?
It's going to be a couple thousand easily.
But you know what I mean? It's like you get to a point where we're going to spend more money talking about it than just doing it.
I know. I'm not disagreeing. So if it's not a change order, then we don't need to involve them. So these two things are change orders, right? So we have to involve them because Tony has to sign off on it.
Yeah.
So my recommendation to this committee is that we approve tonight item 1 and 2. 1 is the extra survey, 2 is the package.
Rosanna, the cost of both these approvals, as we're gonna split them for the middle school and central admin, but the previous approval that was given to Perkins for the middle school, for the study, for the renovation study, Joe still states that they have not reconciled that yet, so I wouldn't recommend moving funds from the owner contingency to the architect line. Because as you know, that every time you approve a change to a contract, we have to take it from somewhere.
Right. Okay. So not approve it tonight, you're
Well,
saying?
no, approve it, but we're just gonna tap that amount that was previously approved for that renovation study.
Oh, okay, I get you, because I was already,
We've already
We didn't-
allocated it.
did I sign off on that already?
I believe Tony signed off on it. Yes. Yeah, I had everybody's
Okay.
signature, and then you said no because
Right. We're
it
not-
had happened.
Right,
But there is some effort from Perkins costs.
right.
So
Which shouldn't have been unlocked, 'cause you guys were only working for like a day at that point. Yeah.
So you approve, but it's just an approval, because usually you approve and then you say to
Right,
be
right, right.
from the owner contingency.
Oh, I see. So
And
we're just
this-
gonna approve the amount, but not approve where it's coming from.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, and then what is the total amount for the package then, with, including the new field costs here, because they've got, steel detailing, so this is just design work, right? This is not material? Because this is you're gonna go out to bid for, this is allowing you to go
Correct.
bid for material,
Correct.
okay? So when you're saying steel detailing, that's basically estimating, or not estimating, but finding out exactly how much steel you need and lengths and.
No, it's more than that. They develop a model and they show the connections. And then when we have and they'll produce like what they call a bill of materials.
Yep.
So it'll keep the bidding more on an even keel, so
Okay.
everybody's bidding the same tonnage.
Gotcha.
And it's very accurate because it's done at, a BIM LOD 400 level.
Gotcha.
And then when the contractor's on board, they will meet with them, discuss some trade contractors have specific connection details, so they'll figure all that out, do all the engineering, and actually produce the shop drawings.
Okay.
And the reinforcing steel works similar. They'll do it off the model, and it could be bought and, in detailed, right, from what we're asking them to do. So that picks up maybe 4 or 5 weeks
Okay.
in the schedule.
And then, where would we pull these amounts from, Emily? Would it be?
Well, for the steel detailing, we do have currently, in the middle school, we have a remaining 50,000 and change. So the difference would have to come from the owner contingency.
What's the 50,000 and change from?
The middle school. So the cost for the middle school is,
What line item on the
We did
middle
them
school is that
separately, yeah.
50,000?
Pre-construction.
Oh, okay.
So as you recall, we budgeted 200,000, but their contract came in less.
Okay, and we kept that budget?
We kept that budget line at 50,000.
Okay, so owner contingency would be 59,000 for the steel detailing,
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah, 103. Oh, if we combine the 103,354 plus the 10,725 for the
Or-
rebar,
Yeah, total,
it's 114,079.
63.
Yeah, 63,223 from the owner contingency.
Yeah, and then the full 11,300 from the bottom one for the owner's contingency then? For the rebar detailing?
Yeah, I include within that 63, I included the
The rebar?
the rebar. Yeah.
Okay.
And same thing for central admin. Central admin, you also have a balance in the pre-construction for 2,645. So whatever's not covered is gonna have to come from the owner contingency.
Okay. All the value management stuff that we saved on, took credit for, where is all that going? Is that going into owner's contingency, or is that going back into, or is it just an open item on those budget line items?
You really don't realize the savings until the job is bid.
Until you go to bid? Okay,
Right.
gotcha. Makes sense. And then for Perkins, what was your fees?
For between both of them combined, for the early procurement of surveying, it's a total cost of $21,792.50.
21,000.
Yes. And as mentioned, we wouldn't be touching the owner contingency for these two costs because we already have uncommitted funds. And you'll see that on the architect fees for the Cromwell Middle School. You have an uncommitted balance of 47,331.
Yep.
If Perkins bills around 10,000, you still have $37,000 there.
Okay, good.
That's an estimate, right?
And
Yeah.
then construction, we had 58,000. Is that what's GMP?
The GMP right now, after the referendum, the budget GMP is 58,721,000. But-
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong line. The pre-construction one, the 50,000
Yep.
and 56, that's the extra.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we use the uncommitted balances first before we go to the owner contingency.
Okay, so we're talking all in, how much goes in out of owner's contingency then?
Just 63,223 for the steel rebar for middle school.
Yep.
And then central admin, you need $1,738.
Is that for both Newfield and Perkins estimates, or just Newfield?
Just Newfields.
Okay, and then-
Again, the one for.
And then Perkins is a wash?
Technically, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
But there is one more thing to address on Newfield. If you see the bottom, their additional pre-construction services fee.
yeah, that comes out of their service allowance?
Yeah, we would like to your approval to have them take,
10,000.
well, a portion for the middle school and the portion.
Yeah, I didn't break that one out, did I?
The middle school would be 9,530, which leaves a balance of 28,590 in the investigation allowances line.
Okay,
And the central admin would be $470, which leaves 1,410 on that line as well.
okay. So both out of,
The investigations allowance, yep.
all right, let's do that one first, because that one's easy.
Yeah. There's no impact on cost to that one.
All right, so,
And then we have our proposal for the third party.
that's separate from the package though, right? Or is that part of the package?
No, that's separate from the package.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I'll take a motion to approve the $10,000 fee for the Phase 1 early procurement package, taking $9,530 from the CMS 40K investigative service allowance and $470 out of the central office 40,000 investigative, no. won't be
No, let me
40,000.
correct you on
It'd
that.
be something else.
Yeah, the combined allowance for central admin and CMS is $40,000.
Okay, so just say the investigative allowance.
just say the investigative
Okay,
allowance.
so
is fine.
$9,530 from the CMS investigative service allowance and $470 from the central office
Yeah.
investigative service allowance.
Yes.
So someone can just motion for all that.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. No one's abstaining. Motion carries. Okay. Now, for the rest of the package, the steel detailing, the rebar detailing, and the design work, Perkins design work, all together. Actually, yours comes, wait, let's do this. Let's approve the Perkins Eastman amount to come out of your
Uncommitted balances.
uncommitted balance. So, was it just 21K?
21,792.50 combined. Do you want them to be split out?
Between the two buildings?
Yeah.
No. Do we have to? Should we?
You should, because
Okay.
you have to keep the books.
Okay. What's the split?
You have 20,768 to CMS.
Yeah.
21,792. And then central admin takes $1,024.50
$1,024.50.
for
Early
the early
procurement
and
package.
the surveying. I added them together.
Oh. And the survey.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll take a motion to approve the, for early procurement package and the additional survey needed for the crosswalk across from CMS currently. Amount of $20,768 to come out of the architect fees?
Uncommitted balance.
Uncommitted balance.
Yeah.
CMS architect uncommitted balance. And $1,024.50 to come out of the central office architect uncommitted balance.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. No one's abstaining. Motion carries. Easy peasy. Okay, now for the big one. We need to approve the total amount,
Yeah, you need to approve the total amount of
113,400.
plus the 11,138, which
Okay.
is 118,463.
118,463, of which 63,000. No, we gotta break it up between the two schools. So for CMS, what is that breakdown? Where's it coming from?
For CMS, it's 103. Oh wait, we have to add those two.
Well, one's coming out of their pre-construction and one's coming out of our owner's contingency, right?
Yeah, but the steel detailing and the rebar detailing, those two totals have to be added. So the cost for CMS is 114,079. Right, Tom?
That's total.
I'm following the asterisk. Yep, so for the middle school, it's 114,079, out of which 63,223 will come from the owner's contingency,
And the rest is coming out of pre-construction,
uncommitted balances, yes.
uncommitted balance. Do I need to specify how much that is?
Just
The
for record,
difference?
we could do 50,856.
Okay, and then for the middle, central office,
Central office is 4,383.
and then the breakdown with,
Owner contingency, 1,738.
1,738.
uncommitted balance 2645.
Why is the uncommitted balance more than the owner's? Because whatever's left over is that why? Okay. Yeah, just talking to myself. I gotcha. Okay. Owners and uncommitted balance. Okay, so I will take a motion to approve for the pre-construction early procurement, for the early procurement package for Newfield, for the middle school, a total of $114,079, of which $63,223 will come out of owner's contingency, and $50,856 will come out of the CMS uncommitted balance. And for central office, a total of $4,383, of which $1,738 comes out of owner's contingency, and $2,645 comes out of uncommitted balance. I'll take a motion to approve that, what I just said.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, John. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. No one's abstaining. Motion carries. Oh, that was a hard one. Okay. Did we get them all? And we're tabling the soil testing one for now
Yeah.
till Tuesday. Okay. All right. Do you have anything else, Joe? Okay. Tom? Do you have stuff you want? So we're still looking like early January to break ground?
Yes. We're on schedule.
What if the ground's really frozen? Is it gonna cost more money?
With this weather.
I know.
Hoping for a mild
Watch,
winter.
we've had all these mild winters. Watch the one winter we needed to be mild. It's like
Freezing.
blizzard after blizzard.
Remember, we said it was gonna be higher.
I know. I know. Well, hey. We tried. Okay. Nothing else from your team? Emily, anything from your team do you want to update? The code review
Yep.
firm options?
Yeah, so we provided two options to the committee. Option one for third-party code review services. We're seeking to retain the services of Versteeg Associates. We've worked with them before. We have a pretty good relationship. Option one would be for the cost of $19,140 to be split among both schools and deducted from the owner's contingency. Option two will be for us to take the funds that are currently slated for CD estimate within our own fee and just take it out from there. We feel that estimate is not needed, and we would, because we have new fields and the other two estimates. With three estimators, it's a successful result, so Jack is suggesting that the project is gonna be better by reassigning that line that we have in our fee right now.
Okay, so the request is to
Reallocate.
the third estimate to this third-party code review.
Yes. So there's currently $15,300 in our current fee, which would leave just $3,840 that would have to be taken from the owner contingencies of both projects.
Okay,
Yeah, because the total fee is $19,140.
I gotcha. Okay.
So we
I
need
thought
a
Jack
difference.
mentioned something about having Arcadis do it, or you had people doing, or maybe he was talking, maybe I misread what he was saying. I probably misread what he was said. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, they're gonna be under our contract, so.
Maybe that's what he was trying to
Yeah,
get at.
that's
Okay.
the thing,
But
that's
the
what he was
fee-
trying to tell you.
So the fee's not different, it's just coming under your contract, and you're
Yes.
gonna offset the cost by not doing that third.
The CD estimate thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any discussion on that? Were you okay with only having two estimators? They came in like within like
It was pretty close.
1% of each other last
Yeah.
time, right? You guys are pretty
Yeah, it
close.
was very close.
Yeah, I'm okay with just the two estimators.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack feels that the project is better served by reallocating those dollars.
Okay, so what's the breakdown between the two projects?
We would need $3,698 from the owner contingency at the middle school and $142 from the owner contingency at the central admin office.
And this is to pay for the third-party code reviewer?
Yep. Well, that balance, that's,
And then the remainder coming out of the third estimate,
of
or
our
CD estimate.
Yep,
your
of our Cadis line.
Arcadis CD estimate.
Mhm.
Okay, so then, anyone catch all that? Want to make the motion, or do I just say it? All right, I'll take a motion to approve the allocation of $3,698 from the CMS owner's contingency and $142 from the central office owner's contingency, and the balance to come out of the Arcadis CD estimate, as they will not be doing a third estimate for the CD phase, to pay for the third-party code reviewer that is required.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Anyone abstaining, motion passes. Okay,
That's a lot.
that was a mouthful.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Did you catch all that, Lisa? Okay.
Otherwise, we have no other updates. We've been working with Michelle regarding the new administration changes that have been at the Office of Grants Administrations.
Yep.
So that's a new acronym.
What's it called now?
Office of Grants Administration. So
OGA?
newly formed.
So it's no more it's no more OSCGR?
I don't believe so.
Oh, well, this is much easier. OGA. Office of Grants
Administration.
Office of Grants. So do we get like an actual like paper in the mail saying congratulations, here's your grant? Like,
No,
what?
they're well, once the bill is signed, yes.
Nice five.
Price is right.
Like,
Yeah, right. But they're making changes, and we're keeping constantly with Michelle to make sure. My discussion with her next will be when we can file the first progress payment. I think I'm going to be filing one either at the end of July. With
And
their
that
new,
goes all the way back to like last year, everything we've spent up to this point, right?
well, except pre-referendum. Any cost for pre-referendum, that's ineligible for reimbursement.
even the second referendum?
What do you mean by cost under a second referendum?
So you're talking about the referendum from last year, not
Yeah,
this
a
year.
referendum
Okay.
of last
After
year.
that, it's all
yeah,
counted.
Yeah,
Okay.
anything before the first referendum,
Oh,
it's
interesting. I
ineligible.
didn't realize that. I thought that was covered too.
Yes, and I have been advised that now when I submit progress payment requests, the state is requiring that I provide backup for everything, eligible or ineligible costs.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it should be easy because we have a whole new crew for post-referendum, so.
Well, it's a little bit time consuming, needless to say.
I know.
But that's where we stand. So that's
Okay.
where we are with
So
this
what does
thing.
that mean? Like you have to provide every invoice to them and?
Yes.
Okay. You
Oh.
have that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it on our update on our end.
Okay, good. The last thing I think we need to talk about is our schedule for the rest of the year. You should have all gotten a copy for it. November 29th, is that the Wednesday before Thanksgiving? It's after Thanksgiving? 29th? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, I'm good with that. January 3rd. It's fine. 31st.
Yeah, the only two that were any type of conflict was the town council was that September 13th and October 11th. So I tried to, there was no other way, because we have open houses.
October 11th is another town council meeting?
Those are the only two on the whole.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't try moving them. We can just send an update and they can just read them in. June 12th might get a little hairy because that might be like around graduation time. So, but we won't know until we get closer, so we'll keep it like it is for now. I don't think anything else on here is. April vacation doesn't fall on 17th of April, does it? Week before, okay. Good.
No, April break is the April 8th through the 12th.
Okay, good. Alright, so I'm fine with the dates, and I don't see anything in here that's crazy. And during the winter, I would say, we'll probably do some of these over Zoom because of weather. Just like, yes, please. I just know that it's a little bit easier for everyone, so, I do acknowledge that it's easier to have these kind of conversations in person. But I see some Zooms happening in our future, especially, this winter. I don't like anyone driving in cold weather, so.
Can we just review next week's schedule again?
Yes.
It's a little
So
crazy. I wanna make sure.
Tuesday is the joint Board of Ed Building Committee meeting.
Yeah.
This is where we're gonna vote on the stuff that's gonna go to the PCR, that review with
right.
the state.
Yep.
So, and what exactly are we gonna see at this meeting? What exactly are we gonna see at this meeting?
We were just talking about that. Joe's gonna distribute the documents tomorrow.
Okay, good. We need some time to go through it all. So, but it's for both of you guys, right? It's not just design stuff?
It's the drawing set, which I don't know how many sheets it is, but it's pretty thin, and the project manual, which includes
Okay.
Newfield's front end and our Division 1 and the specifications.
But the steel and the rebar plans and all that,
That's-
we're
that's-
just approving, that has nothing to do with
Right.
what we're gonna be approving
That's
Tuesday.
separate than-
Yeah, there's
Okay.
two bid packages.
We don't
There's-
need to approve those drawings or anything, you're saying?
Well, you are gonna be approving the drawings when you, not the steel. The steel comes way later. I mean,
Oh,
that's,
okay.
that actually turns over to the architect to approve, or the
Gotcha.
design team to approve. But you're gonna be approving the package, which includes drawings and specs.
Okay.
I think there's gonna be 3 drawings.
It might be that few now.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only 2 bid packages, site prep and electrical equipment.
And does it matter who leads the meeting? Like, I was planning to lead the meeting, but does it matter if it's us, me, or Selena?
No, that's fine.
Doesn't matter, okay.
It's really gonna take, unless there's questions, it's gonna take 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's virtual, so.
It is
just
virtual,
remind
it's a
everybody
virtual
that
meeting.
it's virtual. Yeah,
Yeah.
Do we have to have quorum from both sides?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
yes, we do.
I cannot attend that meeting Tuesday night.
Okay, I think we have quorum, because I think,
we have a
Ken,
plan to
you were
get it
able to come,
signed?
right? It's like,
No.
we'll say 5 minutes, probably like
Maybe we
15-minute
should
meeting.
leave a copy with Roseanne.
I just hope I
to
don't
get-
forget, 'cause I forgot
for
the
somebody
last
to get
one.
it
so-
signed.
Yes, I can attend
You can
as
do it,
well.
and I think
So we need a
Shannon can.
42.
Jessica,
I'll
are
check
you available
tomorrow to see how
Tuesday for
many
that
signatures we
virtual
need.
meeting?
Yeah, but they take PDFs.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Okay,
so we
we'll
got
have-
enough
we'll
people.
have quorum.
Yeah.
And then
I'll be there.
Thursday-
And Thursday is the materials meeting. That's in person because we're gonna have our fingers on materials. Silk drapes, you know. Just kidding.
So I, and you're gonna be there.
Yeah.
So
time
I
will-
will be
It's
away.
cost expensive.
On Thursday?
that's a
Yes.
tough-
Oh.
that's a
I'm out of
tough-
state.
Those 2
Alright.
days
So I'm
are tough.
entrusting the other.
Those 2 days are tough. That Tuesday and Thursday are out for me.
Oh, you can't be there Thursday either?
Did we say we were gonna do that during the day?
That's
No,
7 o'clock at
7
night.
PM.
I can't do 7 o'clock. I can't. I can be maybe a little late.
Whatever you can do.
I'll try
Are
to
you gonna
get
be there,
here.
Ken?
Is there something you prefer to see, exterior or interior? We could start with one versus the other.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'd rather see interior.
Okay, we'll start with the exterior then.
I think Shannon was gonna be there as well.
Yeah.
So.
If I'm just, if we can somehow figure out a way, and someone just set up a laptop with a Zoom so I can kind of
See it?
watch and, I mean, I won't see it, but I,
Yeah. We have
Something.
to publicize the meeting because we're all gonna be there regardless if we're voting or not.
right, but it doesn't have to be streamed.
That's 7 o'clock.
No.
so.
Right.
So we do need to put an agenda out for next Thursday.
No, I did. I did.
You did?
Yeah, I believe I gave Lisa one. It was a very basic.
For next Thursday.
Yeah, like
Okay.
a roll call presentation by Perkins Eastman on interior and exterior finishes.
We're not approving anything. Well, the
No, no,
we won't.
subcommittee is just going to
Recommend.
gather our
Yeah,
recommendations.
okay, we're not approving anything.
So nothing will be voted on.
Okay.
I'm 90% sure I sent that.
And
to
then
Lisa.
Tuesday, we also do need to vote on the soil testing, so we need to add that to the agenda for Tuesday.
Right, so that's why I said, I'm
And we send it out.
This stuff, so I can hyperlink his presentations to it, so.
Yeah.
everyone can review it.
Yeah, and if you can add more beef to that, Joe, timeline maybe, like, you know, or what the general expectations for those line items are, like assumptions, whatever. Do we have something Wednesday next week?
The next time we meet is the 5th.
Next week is crazy. Oh.
So, did you post the agenda for the
Yep.
Thursday, the 29th?
The 20, agenda CMS building project design subcommittee 629.
Yes. Okay.
And, yep, the special joint, yep,
Okay. So yes, there is an
Okay.
agenda.
yep, I did it on Friday the 16th.
Okay, and then our next regular meeting is the Wednesday after that.
And do you need our presentation early for that meeting? Because I've
For
told
Thursday
the
or
team
for
they have
Tues-
the Thursday.
Well,
No.
Is there a presentation?
On the
Aren't you s-
Thursday?
Are we doing material?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
So
bringing
you
I don't
materials
think we
in?
need
you don't
it
need that
early.
in advance. Okay. Because I told the design they were getting a little antsy
No, no,
about
no,
getting
no.
some of the materials
No, no,
in
no.
time.
No, no, no.
I want that big book of like materials I can flip
It's
through.
going to be
You-
baskets of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I want.
If you could just email it to me even moments before so that I could have it on my computer
Okay.
rather than try and
Okay.
watch it
Are
virtually,
you
that would be
gonna
helpful.
recommend color schemes
Yes.
that day?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna have VR goggles, right?
I'll talk to Mike.
Oh my gosh, that is next level.
If
I would pay for
we
that.
we have done that, but
You do?
I'll have to talk to Mike to see if
Come on.
he
Oh,
could
come
do
on,
it.
no fair, I won't be here.
We gotta have VR.
not
That's
fair.
that's amazing.
Yeah, we'd have to do it through Enscape, and
Mike can't
we've
do that.
Done
You
that.
can you
so.
can do it.
No, he
You
can't
can
do
do
it for this week. He can't do it.
I'll
I
ask.
challenge you.
I don't know if he has the time to prepare that.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That's amazing. You gotta love the virtual world. All right.
I want to vote on this.
Oh, let's vote on the minutes. Huh?
If you like the schedule to vote on.
Yes, I'll take a motion to approve the schedule
So
from.
moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. I'll
Aye, sorry.
all
I'm not
opposed,
used to
say nay.
this. Too much pressure.
No one's abstaining. Motion carries. Okay. Anything else from anyone before we call this meeting a meeting and we can leave and build a poster?